Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a green onion. I love these things in real life as well. I think they're tasty. I won't eat this one though. I don't think it's too hard to make. It's right around 200 bands for kind of the main part here that I've made it so far. Extra for however many of the roots you want. These I kind of made on the short side, in my opinion. I probably would have made them like twice as long, but I'll kind of leave that up to you. Once you see how they're made, you can make them as long as you want. But it is adorable. I'm going to show you how to make this. The top part for the green, it's 102 bands. As I've made it, you can make it longer. The white part is 101 bands. You'll need 1 to 3 black bands for the eyes and the mouth, depending on if you use beads or not, and then your cheek bands. And then this is kind of just however many you want to add in there. I added a lot. I thought it looked neater. So I'll show you how to make the eyes and the cheeks so you can have those ready. The cheek bands are just whatever color you want the cheek to be. You're going to put on your hook, wrap it around once like a figure 8, grab both pieces of it and wrap it around again. Then take 2 white bands and pull them through. And that'll be a cheek band. The eye bands are made the same way. I'm using black for the eyes, so band on my hook, wrap it around once into the figure 8, grab both sides, wrap it around again, and then 2 bands through like that. So that's an eye, a wrapped band for an eye. If you do the beads, I just use a piece of wire, or you can use string, yarn, fishing line, pipe cleaners, floss, anything that you can get into a nice little V to put your bands into. Then you'll close it up, and as long as you can get it through your bead, I'm using 7mm pony beads. I put that on and just pull it down and take out my wire. Then I have an eye band with a bead on it. So you want to make those. And then it is all in one loom. This is going to be a growing up design, so it shouldn't be as difficult as some of the ones where it's growing down, so hopefully it'll be good for you. I'm using the wrong end of the loom, but we're going to kind of move up here a little bit to make these pieces, which are made separately. And we'll use green. This is teal from Rainbow Loom. And what we're going to do first is, just using 3 pins, we're going to kind of make, I suppose it's kind of like a 3-pin fishtail, but not quite. 1 band, we're going to take it, double it, put it on, and cross it on a pin like that. Another band, double it, put it on your pin. We're going to make a triangle, so. Then lastly, 3rd band, put it on, so we have a little triangle. And then I'm going to count this as row 1, so this will be the 2nd row. I make them, the tall one is 10 rows tall, this one's 8 rows, and this one's 6 rows. So you can change this, make it as long as you want, that's up to you. But I'm just going to do 10, 8, and 6. But it's the same process for every one. We just go around on top for the triangle. Then you'll take your hook and first we'll flip over the bottom doubled bands all the way around. So they're kind of all sitting in there like that. Push that down, and again, another row, flip over the bottom on each pin and push it down. Another triangle. So after about the 4th row, you should be able to do this, but if you look very closely here, you kind of have these bands that look like in a triangle. You stick your hook down right into the center, and if you can grab the doubled bands on the bottom, cover your pins, and pull it up. So once you get it up, you can fix those later, but because we actually, if we do it the other way, then it has kind of the smoother appearance like this. But we want it to match the rest of the onion, so that's 4 rows. Then we need to do 6 more for this one. You could, of course, try just letting it go all the way down and then switch it out, but I think it's easier to do it at the beginning, even though it kind of gets in the way now. Doesn't really matter what pattern you put them on for the triangle, just so that they get on there. And it's always the bottom 2 until we get to the 10 rows. So the other 2 are the same process, you just don't go as high. And I'll finish this one up, and then I still need to make the other 2, but I'll probably fast forward through them, not super fast, but a little fast, so that my video isn't super long like usual. But they're not, hopefully not too hard to make, just triangles, starting out with that doubled band first. So and if you lose count while you're doing this, if you kind of come in here a little bit, if you start twisting this around right at the top, you can find this one where there's a little teardrop shape, like that. And this counts as your first, well, it'll be the second row, because our first row is the double bands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I have the 8th one on the pin. So that's how you can count if you need to. Like I said, it's not a super big deal to have them exact for this part, because it's just, I guess you want to make sure that they're not all the same probably, but just so they're kind of offset a little bit. But if you're counting bands, then maybe it'll matter. I suppose I should unzoom that, huh? It's a little close. So that should be my 10 rows. Yes. So then you'll just leave this up here. Our little onion guy is only made on 6 pins, so you've got a little bit more room up here to work to make your other 2 that you need. Just remember to start with that double band in a cross in your triangle shape. Like that. And just count your rows as you go up. But I'll put it in the description box how many up I did and how many bands that used for me, and then you can gauge how many you want to do. Okay, so I have my little tops done. 6, 8, and 10 are what I used for the number of rows. So now what we're going to do is move these into position down here on the other end, down here on the wrong end of the loom, for the rest of the looping. But first what we're going to do is reduce these down to 2 pins. And how we're going to do that is, you can pick any one that's convenient, it doesn't matter. You're going to grab top band, see where it's coming from. Mine's coming from the top pin, and you're going to put it on the bottom pin. And the other one should go to the other pin. And that's all you have to do. And you do the same thing for the other 2 tops as well. See where it's coming from and put it on the opposite pin. Like that. And then, last one. So now you have them all reduced down to 2 pins. They might flip over, that's alright. It's not. I'll show you how to put them on so that they go correctly then. So what we're going to do is move these down here like I said. So I'm just going to stick my hook in. You can either put them in both ends or transfer it down. It's 3 and 3 is what it amounts to. So then down here we have the normal hexagon shape that we normally use. These bands are going to go on in a triangle shape. So the tallest one you have is going to go in the back here. And if you end up dropping one of the bands, it shouldn't be too bad because they don't really go back up inside, hopefully. At least I haven't noticed it. So like that. And I'm just going to grab the next tallest one. And this one can go on the left or the right, it doesn't matter. I'll put mine on the right this time. And if you put it on and it's pointing upside down, you're going to want to turn it up the right way. So if you have your bands twisted the wrong way, that'll make it so that it points down, but we want it to point up. So now we have half, or 2/3 of the triangle. And we'll grab the last one. And that one will just go here. So then you check, make sure that they're up. So now what we're going to do is in green still. We're going to take one band, and starting up here in the front, we're going to go around that hexagon pattern. So first one band, put it on, but cross it as you put it on. Next will be 2 bands, put it on, and then cross it. Then 1 band, cross it. 2 bands, cross it. Then 1 band, crossed, and finally 2 bands crossed. Like that. So now what we're going to do is on the pins, the 3 pins on the corners here, we're going to flip over all of the bands that are part of the top, leaving just the 4 bands on top. Or 3 bands, I guess, on the corners there. So there'll be 3 bands left over. So flip over the top bands on the 3 pins around. And then don't do anything with the other ones yet. So like that. Then what we're going to do is 4 single rows of green all the way around the hexagon pattern. So just single band right now. And we're going to do 4 rows. There's row 1. So you'll flip over the bottom 3 bands, just leaving the 2 on top. Like that. So that's 1 row. Single band again, another row. Now it's just the 2 bands on the bottom. Another row, single band. Alright, that's 3, 1 more to go. Still single band. Alright, so that's our 4 green rows. You can kind of see how they're going to look now when they're standing up. So if something looks really goofy and it's not quite right, this would probably be where you would want to back up and try again. Now we're going to go to white. And it's still single banded. And we're going to do 3 single banded rows around. There's 1. Two. 1 more. still single banded. Like that. Now our next row is going to be an alternating row. So first we're going to start with 2 bands in white. Then it's going to be 1 band, then 2 bands again, 1 band, 2 bands, and 1. And we'll just flip over the bottom 2. Like that. Our next rows, we're going to do 2. They're going to be doubled, so 2 bands all the way around. And flip the bottom 3 all the way around. So you should be left with 4 on the pins. And another doubled row. Like that. And flip over the bottom 4. Next is our eye row. So you'll want your wrapped bands for your eyes or your beads. And then starting right here in the front, we're going to put one of our eye bands. And then right next to it on the right, we'll put the other one. Then it will be 2 bands all the way around the rest of it. Like that. Then flip over the bottom 4. You see it's starting to take some pretty nice shape. Next is our cheek row. So you want the wrapped band on 2 of your onion color bands, and they're going to go right below the eyes. Or above the eyes, I guess, depending on how you look at it. Then it'll be 2 bands all the way around the rest. Then you'll flip over the bottom 4. Now we need to put on the mouth. I just use a black band, wrap it around my hook once, and in front here between the eyes and the cheeks, you just grab these bands here, pull them up, slide your mouth band down, and then replace the bands back on the pin. That's the mouth on there. Now we're going to do another 2 rows doubled all the way around. Like that. Flip over the bottom 4. Push it down. Then another doubled row. And flip over the bottom 4 again. Like that. Now, what you're going to do is go around, and if you need to kind of spread them out a little bit so you can see better, we're going to flip over the bottom band that's on the pins right now. So if I can kind of look right here, here's my bottom 2 bands. I'm just going to flip them over the top. Just make sure it's the bottom 2. Like so. Now what we're going to do is, I'm just going to put this on my hook. You can thread it through if you want. You can use the latch hook to close, but there isn't too much going on here, so I'm just going to take my Rainbow Loom hook and stick it into each band around. So I have it all on my hook. Kind of straighten it out a little bit. And then you can use the bands that you have been using for the white part up here. You can use, they're kind of a off-white, and I don't know if you can tell the difference on camera or not, but I found these, they're cheap, kind of rubbery bands, but I figure they work good to close this guy. They're stretch band bracelet loops. I got them from Joann's, but they're just an off-white color. I'm just going to take 2 bands, pull it through everything on my hook, both ends on the hook, and do a slip knot. Now you might go, that doesn't look very good that way. That's because we got to add in all of the fun. We don't have to worry about hiding this because it'll be part of the bottom. And if you look, yours will kind of have this looks like an open point just because of how it was connected. I wanted all this extra here because it gives you something to actually put the roots onto without distorting too much of the top of the onion. So I usually start by going kind of back here where they connect side by side Just take my hook, put it in there through whatever bands I can. Take 2 more bands, pull them through, and make a slip knot. And I just keep doing that around until I'm satisfied that I have them. I usually try and get close here. Like here's the next little loop that I could go through, and then here's where I tied before. I'll usually go in through the next loop I can go through, but then part of what I did before, because it helps to keep them together so you don't end up with any holes. Although you can just fix them by tying another couple bands in there, so it's not. This is just kind of your creativity at work right here, getting the root bands where you like them and how many you like them. You can also cut them if you want to. I kind of like mine with the little loops on them for whatever reason. This will take me a minute because I like a lot of them. Alright, that's good for now. I might add another couple in the center there, but pretty fabulous. You give them a stretch. Try not to pull like right here where they're connected, because you might loosen this up right here, and then either these will flop out funny, or you'll distort what's in here and you'll have to go back in with your hook and fix this to get rid of any holes or anything that might show up. So you can hang on to here, and you can stretch these out if you need to. Kind of give them a big tug. And you can hold right below here. Stretch them out as you need to. But it turns out pretty fabulous, I think. And adorable. Very adorable. And of course they always come in bunches, so you gotta have more than one. I'll tie these together later. But I think they're cute. I don't think they're too super difficult, so hopefully, I know a lot of people ask me which ones are the easiest to start with and to make, and usually I say the carrot, but I know sometimes even that gives people trouble, but these I think aren't too hard to do. Just a little kind of up here in the top here when we're connecting that's where it might get a little tricky, but so definitely appreciate you guys watching these. Still have tons more to do, still have lots more to come out with. I've kind of have been stockpiling all the ones that I've made, and then getting the tutorials ready is kind of where I get hung up, because I only film at night when the kids and everybody are sleeping, so it's actually quiet here. So, but they're coming 2 to 3 days usually, but might be to 4 if I get hung up on something or have other obligations, but definitely trying to get them all out there. I have some highly requested ones coming, and hopefully you'll enjoy those as well. I will very shortly be transitioning into the other types of foods that people have been asking for, the sweets and things like that. So those are definitely coming. Don't think I forgot about them or that I'm not going there. I just I had so many requests for so many different vegetables and things that I wanted to get to those so that so nobody thought I was going to skip them, I guess. So, but I want to definitely thank you for watching. I will have more of these out soon. You can still hashtag these to the feelinspiffy happy food. I'm still checking them all out, and they're all very fabulous. And then there's also, I guess my Instagram is @craftingfantastic, so you want to check out that as well. And of course, subscribing to my channel is the best way to find out when these are being released. And because, like I said, this is the first place I go. And I still will probably continue to say fabulous, fabulous and adorable, because I can't seem to get it out of my vocabulary. They are just stuck in there. No matter how hard I try to get it out, I just keep saying it. So hopefully it's not too annoying. I'm trying. I guess increase my vocabulary to a few more words or something to kind of increase, I guess. Well, my screen's definitely filling up. Definitely getting excited. Trying to get one of everything here. I know some people were worried I was going to stop when I filled up the screen because I had said something about that before, but they're like, well, stop putting multiple ones up, because you always put like 2 or 3 of the apples or something, so if you just put one of each, then you still have lots more room for a while. And so it just kind of takes a little while to get there, but I'm getting there. There will definitely be more coming soon. I hope that you enjoy this, and I want to thank you very much for watching, and we'll have more for you soon.